Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video and today I am setting up my 2025 journal. I am a little bit late doing this. I got carried away with all of my other planners. I had a lot of planners to set up. I think I had like four planners to set up. A 7x9, another 7x9, a travel journal, a reading journal, and this journal. So this is the final one to be set up. All the others have been set up and I am really excited for this. So my 2025 journal annual pages are going to be themed with this Celestial collection, which is from Josephine Bow Designs. So all of the, this is my journal, so it's an A5 Archer and Olive. All of the stickers that are printed like these are from the 2024 Josephine Bow Designs Advent Calendar. And then the extra bits that I have printed here are from the Josephine Bow Designs January Patreon rewards. I am very lucky to be gifted these, but you can join the brand new Patreon. It's going to be amazing. I've been helping Joanne with some ideas for themes and I am super excited for this year for all of the Patreon themes. But these were the seals that were on the advent calendar, and we've got a word of the year sticker to match this planner belongs to. We've got January calendars, we've got wallpapers and printables like this one. So yeah, super excited. So I've got a couple of other extras. I've got a washi tape from Plannerface that totally just matches this whole vibe. That Joanne actually gave that to me, but it's from Plannerface. We've got some Josephine Bow Designs foiled acetate. We've got a little star girl from Oh Hello Feelings Co. I think that was a Patreon reward. We've got some cute die cuts from Every Minute a Story. I've got an envelope from the Plannerface Advent Calendar that is going to hold my letter to me, which is something new. I've got my Year of the Snake vinyl from the Coffee Monsters Co., which is going to go on the front of my journal. And then I've got a photo of me and Theodora, which is from my brother's wedding. We're actually in our pajamas here, but I really loved that we both had like pinky purple pajamas because it totally goes with the theme. So as with all my other planner setups, I am going to do them with a voiceover just so that I can really focus on what I am doing. I can't talk live and set up planners at the same time. It's just, I don't know why I can do it with Plan With Me's, but I can't do it with setups. So yeah, I am going to head off and set up this planner and I hope you enjoy this. Okay. So first things first, I grabbed my custom name stickers from Josephine Bow Designs. You can't buy these, but Joanne just made them for me because she's the best friend ever. And I'm going to start off by putting my Coffee Monsters Co. Year of the Snake vinyl on the front. I don't know what star sign this journal is, but it's not mine. I am a Taurus and I know it's not Taurus. I grabbed this journal in a D-stash. It was like £10, which is amazing for an Archer and Olive. It's brand new. It was brand new in the box sealed, but I really love how this vinyl looks on the front. So next up, I am setting up my cover page. And oh my goodness, I don't even know what to say about this. It was worth all of the strife because right now when I am sat here looking at it, it looks incredible. There is a picture of it on my Instagram, but this was really hard work, like really hard work. So I saw this on Erin's YouTube. She's actually told me on Instagram that it was Sassy Planner HQ that gave her the inspiration. So we're all sharing ideas and it's awesome. But I saw Erin do this in one of her 2025 journals and I was like, I absolutely love how that looks. So I decided to try and do it myself. Now, for the two, I am using the bluntest knife ever and I thought I'd changed it before I started and I must have completely forgot to do it because, yeah, it's just so hard work. So basically the aim of this is that it's going to be like cut out and on the page underneath, there is going to be like decoration so that you can see that deco through the 2025. And it was just a learning curve, the whole thing. Like I would do this again, but I would do it a completely different way. And in the end, I did kind of come out with a really good ending, but it just took a long time to get there. So I cut out the number 2. I basically used stickers that I printed on my Cricut that are on like a very removable mat as the like basis of what I was cutting out. I did that because when Erin did this, she printed the stickers that like weren't on removable mat, and then she really struggled to get them up. So I was like, must note to use a really easy removable sticker paper. So as you can just see, I've just changed the blade in my knife and I am cutting around the 0. I found this really hard and the middle tore. So I would definitely leave more space, like if I did this again. I had little bits of cutting everywhere. It's really jaggedy around the edge, but when the whole thing is finished, just bear with it. It looks awesome. So I also found this quite hard because I was going like over the sticker paper. So I was trying to cut through like really, really high GSM paper and sticker paper because I kept like slipping onto the sticker paper when I was cutting. But I did eventually get the hang of it. Like the 25 took a lot less time than the 20. I did end up losing a bit of the 2, but you could still see clearly that it was a number 2. So I decided in the end to actually cut off the top one and I just left them as like a wider hole, if you like. And then I'm just cutting around the number 5. Again, like I say, this was just really, really tricky. I don't like this cutting knife. I've been saying for at least 2 years that I'm going to get a new one, and I just don't, because this one is perfectly fine, like for the tiny things I use a cutting knife for. I don't use it often enough like to warrant buying a new one, because the really good ones, which are like the slicer tools, are like £15, and I just think I just don't use it enough. But maybe I should just invest in one just for this one task a year. On the page underneath, I have printed out one of the Josephine Bow Designs Patreon designs, and this is making the background for my kind of 2025 open planner page. I don't really know what to call it. This is the design that is on the sticker album that came in the advent. Definitely go and check out the advent calendar on my channel if you've not seen it. If you don't buy Josephine Bow Designs advent calendar, you are missing out. And I'm not just saying that because she's my friend. I bought them before she was my friend. That's actually how I became friends with Joanne. So I applied for the PR team, and that was how I became friends with Joanne. So I bought from her shop before I was friends with her, and everything has just got more beautiful. I tried to round off the corners, but I think this like corner, this corner punch is for like a skinnier page because it just was not working. So in the end, I ended up just using my scissors and going around the edges because I just gave up and I was like, I ain't got time for this. And although that would have looked amazing, I absolutely had to add an acetate. Josephine Bow Designs foiled acetate is incredible. This one is actually from the Summer Sunrise kit, but I really liked that it had like the twinkle, which is the same as what's on the design. So I'm just using my guillotine to cut it to size, and it looks amazing. Sorry about the reflection on the ring light. And then I just used 4 tiny squares of like glue roller in the corner. You can see them through, but because I've literally just done 4 tiny squares, you literally don't even notice. So this here is like me showing you what it should look like. But I was in a bit of a dilemma because I had this bit in the middle that was like torn, and I really needed to get it to be like stable. I had some of this kind of hollow overlay left. This was actually my last sheet of it. A lovely friend, Francesca, got me this from Michael's years ago when it was not accessible in the UK. It's much more accessible now, but she sent me something like 10 sheets, and I've like eked them out to make them last this long. So I just did a bit more trimming and then decided to stick this overlay over the top. I did realise at first that I had lost the middle of my 0, but you'll see later on in the video, I come back to this and I actually take the middle out, and I prefer the way it looks without it. I feel like you get much more of the design underneath. So I'm just cutting the overlay down to size, and I end up with a bubble, which is so frustrating. And every time I like lay it out, it's still there. I'm putting some sticker release paper underneath the 2025 because I figured that if I didn't, when I stuck the overlay down, it was going to stick to the paper underneath, which would have been devastating. So I'm really, really glad I thought of that. So I've just stuck it down. It's completely transparent. It's just literally an overlay, and I am now rolling it out. I have got some random writing on the back of the overlay, by the way, that I just binned. I don't know what that is. But there you can see me kind of smoothing out the air bubbles, but I have got one that I couldn't get rid of. So I put the middle back in the 0, and then what I basically did was thought about cutting out the glittery stuff. And then I decided that because the cutting didn't go very well, I decided against that. So after I've trimmed it down, which is what I'm doing now, I stick it on the other side, which I'm very glad I did. I thought about washi tape first, but I changed my mind. However, later on in the video, I do come and cut out the middles, which honestly just looks amazing. And that's what you will have seen on Instagram. It is by far like the best part of this planner. Like, it just looks so, so good. But at the minute, I haven't really thought of that. So, or I actually have, but I decided against it. So I'm just kind of backing the other side so that the middle is like back to back and it's no longer sticky. I've thankfully no air bubbles on this side. But it does look really, really good now. But when I held it up like away from the ring light, you can't really see like what's through. You just don't get the acetate as well because the hollow like overlay on top is kind of hiding it. So it does look really good, just not as good as it could look. Next up, I'm going on to do my cover spreads, and this is another thing that turned out really good. So I am getting my This Planner Belongs To sticker, which was from the Advent, and I've also got my 2025 Advent. And then on this sticker sheet that Joanne made for me, she put some BETH versions in brackets. Obviously, like I said at the beginning, these aren't for sale, but I added those in. Obviously, they're a Taylor Swift reference if you're a Taylor Swift fan. And then I'm just using my glue roller to stick in the picture of me and Theodora. And I really love this. I've had a picture of me and Theodora in my planner like ever since I've planned. And I just really love it. Like, I love opening my planner and seeing her there. It just makes me so happy. And then I wanted to add some of this washi from Plannerface on just the top and bottom, just to kind of give it a bit of something extra and tie it in with the name page. So foiling is gorgeous. So I'm skipping through now to work on some of my other spreads, and I decide to go for what was going to be a future log. So originally I wanted a future log, and I was going to basically put in mini calendars for the year and write in events and birthdays, but I decided against it mainly because, one, I'll have a calendar in every monthly set up, so I can do that there, and two, I'm just never going to look at it again. Like, some people really use them and rely on them, but I use the calendar on my phone. Like, that is where I do like my everyday organizational planning, my appointments, like everything that Thea's got on at school. I'm never ever going to use this planner for that. My journal is like a memory journal. It's a place to track habits. It's a place to do like cute spreads. It's not a place for like functional planning for me personally. So what I decided to do was use these Patreon rewards. These are the dates from the Advent, and there are going to be 31 of them. They're going to be a bonus drop. So if you've not subscribed to the Patreon, make sure you go and do that. And I decided to use these basically to mark the months, and I turned this spread into my year in photos. So I really want to pick like 2 or 3 photos from every month that just sums up the best thing that happened. And I thought this was literally the perfect way to do it. So I've chopped off the tops of a couple and bottoms of a couple of pages to make it into like a Dutch door. And I do this a couple of times in the spread, and I really love it. That's inspiration from Washi, and I just thought it looked awesome. And I'm just adding in some of the washi tape at the bottom. One thing I really like about this washi tape is that it's two-tonal, and all the way through this journal, I mix and match the tones. So you'll see that I do the pieces separately, even though they spread a page. I don't do them continuous. And I actually really like that kind of changes. So you'll see in the middle of this spread that it's like lilac on the right-hand side, but then it's dark blue on the left-hand side. And I'm going to do it again at the top. I just really like that they don't like match. So I think on these ones, I do kind of keep it the same like all the way across, but on a lot of them, I don't do that. But even still, like the one at the top and the one at the bottom, because it's like an ombre, they just don't go together. And I think it just looks so cool. So once I've put those in, I go ahead and put in my header, which is my year in photos. As I did in my reading journal, or will do in my reading journal, I don't know which order these are going to go up in, but I start in the middle and work out to make sure that the heading is central. I'm pretty sure it's Erin that taught me to do that. Pretty much everything I've learned about journaling is from Erin or Washi, so if you're wondering where any of these ideas have come from, they've come from their channels. They're the only 2 journal YouTubers I watch. I do need to find some more actually, so do give me some recommendations in the comments if there's any really cool journaling YouTubers that I need to start watching. But then I decided to use these hollow transparent matte monthly scripts underneath the numbers just to put the months in. These were in the advent calendar. These are stunning. I pleaded with Joanne to do these again. She did them in the 2022 advent and the 2023 advent. No, sorry, the 2023 and the 2024 advent. And yeah, I was like, please do them again. I love them so much. And these are quite possibly the most beautiful ones she's ever done with the kind of like moons. They just look so pretty and they totally make this spread. So that's given me an opportunity now to kind of like do a bit of a photo collage on each of these at the end of every month. And it's just like a really nice summary of the year to look back on. Next up, I am moving on to my goals spread, and I did get a goal sticker in the advent calendar, but I wanted to do a washi dashboard on the other side. And in case you haven't ever seen me do a washi dashboard, I create my dashboards on sticker paper. I don't ever do them direct into the planner. The reason for that is that I find it really, really hard to cut like down the spine of a planner. And when I use a knife, I'm always really worried about like cutting the actual binding of the planner. And I have done that in one place in this journal by accident, but it doesn't, thankfully it's only a tiny bit at the top and it doesn't affect like the integrity or the structure of the planner. But I do absolutely have the fear of like one day it just falling apart because I've like cut through the binding, which I really don't want to do. So also if you do it in a 7x9, it's really hard with the coil. So I do it on sticker paper and you can see the process now. So I just lay the washi down and I chop off the edges, then I turn it over, trim it and stick it in. It is so easy. It's a lot quicker and it just looks so pretty. Also, you know that when this is cut down, it's like mostly cut to size. I only find I'm ever like a few millimeters out, which is super helpful. The only thing that ever makes me sad about washi dashboards is the amount of wastage. Like in order to get like a really good design, you kind of have to have like a good centimetre of washi on the either side. And I just think when you add all that up, I must waste so much washi. But I did see once that somebody was making like a washi page and it was basically like every time they had a tiny offcut, they stuck it on like a random washi page in their journal. And I said when I was doing my 7x9 setup that I was going to do that, and I still haven't done it, and I'm saying it again. So if you've seen that video or you're going to watch it, I say the same thing. Don't hate me. I've still not done it. But I wanted to change up the washi tape that I was using in the planner just because I wanted to kind of enhance the goals page, which is on the right with a different kind of washi to the one that's on the dashboard. So I went into my stash and found this set from Simply Gilded that I grabbed in a D-stash. And then I stuck this down a bit wonky and tried to move it and just change my mind. So I'm trimming the edges on the other side and then I am going to stick down my goals page. I absolutely love these. These are another firm favourite from Josephine Bow Designs. I've used them every year since I've been getting a Josephine Bow Designs advent calendar that had them, and they're just so pretty. I'm not writing my goals in on screen, and I don't really know why. I kind of set up this planner and I came away and I edited the video like ready in order for me to do the voiceover, and I was like, why did I not do that on camera? So yeah, but I will share it on Instagram at some point and you can see my goals for the year. I've got a few goals. I've got more like achievable goals. I have not achieved my actual goals for like 2 years now. And I think that's because I've been setting very unachievable goals. I've obviously achieved other things. Sorry, but how beautiful is that? I've obviously achieved other things, but just not the things that I wrote down that I wanted to achieve. So I've made them really, really achievable this year. There's no reason I cannot do any of these goals. Like there's no reason I can't do them. I just need to do them. So yeah, moving on to my highlight of the week spread. And basically, again, I wanted to do a Dutch door, which is like my year in photos. I did highlight of the week in my journal in 2024 and I absolutely loved it. There was at least one thing to be happy about every single week this year, even at the beginning of the year when, if I'm completely honest, I had a pretty crappy time. The first like 3.5 months of the year were dire for me, but I still managed to find something good in each week. And I think that's really important. Like gratitude and being thankful is like a massive thing that I've got quite big on, because I think even when the sun isn't shining, there is still a bit of sun somewhere in the world. Like there's always something. So I wanted to carry that on. I do end up leaving this spread blank because I realised that I didn't order the stickers I needed. So Plannerface has highlight of the week stickers, and they're what I used in 2024. I was convinced I had 2 sheets of them. I don't. They're highlight of the day. So I need to order highlight of the week ones so that I can kind of replicate that. So I complete the kind of setup, but I don't stick in my highlight of the week stickers, but I will go and do that at a later date when I order them, which I'm ideally going to do tonight. So I'm just putting down my washi, and this was what I meant about them kind of not being the same and kind of cutting off in the middle. I'm counting up my characters so I can do my title, and again, starting from the centre. And this makes sure that, like I said before, that they're central, because it would drive me nuts if they're not. And actually, this one is not, because I didn't take into account the spaces. And I don't do that through the whole planner, and I'm so frustrated about it. So basically, the number of characters are even in the word highlight and in the words of the week, but obviously it's of the week plus 2 spaces. So really, I needed like the of to be in the middle, like across both pages, but it doesn't matter. It's almost there. And it's only me who's going to be looking at it, and you now, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm moving on now to do my letter to me, and this was another inspiration from Joshi, that basically she says at the start of every year she writes herself a letter that she then reads at the end of the year. And I just thought this was a really nice thing to do, like, you know, just like food for thought. I'm going to ask myself, like, you know, how was the year? And it's just a check-in, and I thought it was really cute. So I'm decorating the page with the Simply Gilded washi and popping in my header. The header is too big for the page, which is a little frustrating, but I do manage to like do it over 2 lines, which makes it fit, and that's fine. And then I had this really, really cute mini purple envelope from the Plannerface advent calendar. Of course, it's purple from Plannerface. And this was perfect. So I just thought, right, fab, I'm going to put my letter in this. So I stick that in the page, and it looks so cute. It's only a tiny envelope. I think it's A7. But I just thought I'm going to write myself like an A6 letter, fold it in half, and it'll fit in there. And I just thought it looked really good. On the other side, I have got my word of the year. And my word of the year is a really bizarre one. My word of the year is dynamic. However, first, I am going to come back and cut out these letters. So this is what I was talking about earlier in the video, where I come back and I mess with this. So I'm actually videoing this on another day. So I did the first part of the setup, last night, and this, when I'm recording this voiceover, and this part I did this morning. I came back to finish the journal, and I kept stopping and looking at this page, and it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. And I just kept thinking to myself, I've spent so much time working on this, and it's not what I want. So I'm just going to cut out the like sparkly bit on the see-through. I did then realise that it would take out the middle of my O, and I panicked because I thought, oh no. However, I thought, you know what? No, I want more of the acetate to be visible. And can I just say, cutting through this was a dream. It's that thin that I basically managed to like edge the knife round the design, and it just came away so easily, honestly. Like, for how long this took me, it took me about 2 minutes, and maybe not 2 minutes, it took me about 5 minutes, but it took me almost an hour to do the page originally. And this just came away so easily. I don't know why I didn't do it first time, but I can't even tell you how much better this looks. Like, you'll see it in a minute, and like I said, you might have seen it on Instagram, but I'm really proud of it. Like, I don't remember the last time I looked at my planner and thought, I've actually done something really cool with this. Like, with not being very creative or artistic, it's really hard, and I just thought, oh, this looks amazing. I'm just doing some kind of like bits of trimming, and some of the letters have gone a bit wonky, but look at that. It just looks so much better. So doing a little bit of titivation as I'm like going through with things that I'm spotting, and going back to my word of the year page. But as I was saying, my word of the year is dynamic. It's a bit of a weird word, but my friend suggested it to me, my friend Oakley, and I was like, yes, I feel that. Like, I'm going to be dynamic. I'm going to do dynamic things. Like, it's going to be a varied year. Like, that's what I think. I've had various words of the year. My first word of the year was in 2022, and it was blossom, and I felt like that was a good word. And then in 2023, I had bloom, because I was like, let's kind of grow on that a little bit. And then in 2024, my word of the year was achieve, and I did achieve, just not the things I wanted to. So this year's word of the year is dynamic, and I'm just using my custom scripts to stick that on. But this word of the year sticker is from the Patreon. It matches the name sticker, which is at the beginning of the planner. So absolutely love that. So if you're basically someone who bought the advent calendar, you'll have like a complete set of stickers. So absolutely love that. Again, just going through and doing some bits. So finally, I am on to my 25 in 2025 spread, and I am so excited. I have to say, a lot of these are quite tactical choices because I know that I am going to achieve at least like 7 of these already, like just with things I have planned. Like with holidays I've got booked. I'm going to see Sabrina Carpenter, so like one of these on here is go to a concert. Now, I don't fill this in on spread, so I will just read out the 25 things that I'm aiming to do. So they are go on a solo cinema trip, go on an extreme day trip, visit a pop-up event, get a tattoo, watch a sunrise, go to the theatre, go to a concert, get a massage, attend a planner meet, sing on karaoke, raise £20 for charity, watch a sunset, be on a podcast, paint a picture, visit the beach, bake a cake, do pottery painting, embroider a hoop, holiday in the UK, visit a historical site or monument, visit a museum, get a piercing, visit a new country, drink a shot, and collab with someone on YouTube. So those are my 25 in 2025, and I need to do them all at least once. I will post that on Instagram. I appreciate I went through that really fast. So if you didn't grab any of them, I will post this spread on Instagram so you can see them. But on the other side, I basically want to write what I did to meet them. So, and like the date that I did it. So I'm using these date dots from Plannerface just to mark down 1 to 25. And basically, for example, when I go on my solo cinema trip, I will write down what I saw next to number 1 and the date that it happened. That way I've just got a record of how and when I achieved my 25 in 2025. But yeah, like loads of these I already know I'm gonna meet. So I'm going to a concert. I've already got a theatre trip booked. I already know I'm going to paint a picture because I'm doing a sip and paint for my birthday. I've already got my tattoo picked out. I already know I'm going to be going on holiday and visiting a new country. I'm going to Italy in June. So some of these things, I know I'm going to achieve, but I thought that made it like more likely that it would make me want to finish because these aren't unachievable things. So I finished off the decoration with this washi tape, and that is the end of the setup. I did have this final page left, which I wanted to do something with, and I decided to go for another washi dashboard. I really didn't want anything to kind of take away from the cover page. Like, I didn't want anything crazy, but I didn't want to leave it blank. I would have probably used the overlay, but I didn't have enough overlay left, which I'm really sad about. Or else I probably would just have done that so that it completely like blended in. But I decided to just duplicate the washi dashboard that I did earlier on in the setup, and I'm doing it exactly the same way using this really pretty washi from Plannerface. And again, I just love, like I say, how the ombre like doesn't kind of tally up with the other areas. It's just completely random, which looks super, super pretty. I have to say, purple is my least favourite colour. So considering the entirety of this setup is purple, Anna and Joanne need to be like super proud of that. I said to them this morning, you have to be careful. Next thing I'll be using gold foil. But yeah, so I had a tricky bit at the bottom of the washi dashboard. So I just thought, I'll add that on after. But I'm doing my trimming down, and then I'll be able to stick it in. I'm flipping through this planner now, like while I'm filming this voiceover, and it is so beautiful. I feel like I've put so much effort into it, which, for me, setting up a planner has always been like quite a quick thing. And I feel like wanting to do more like on YouTube and things like that has kind of made me take more care this year. And I think it's like, start the year as you mean to go on kind of thing. So I'm really glad I did that. And I'm really glad it kind of came together. So I'm sticking in the washi dashboard and doing a bit of trimming. Thankfully, I didn't need to do very much trimming. I managed to cut this like almost perfectly sized, which is super, super good. So all that's left to do now is flip through this beautiful planner. I did remember that I had my little Stargirl sticker, which is from Oh Hello Feelings Co. Patreon with Being Bethany Rose. So that is Rainbows and Ravens, and that is Star. So I added that in, and this is the planner. So we've got a nice wiggle of that stunning foil. And these are all of my spreads. Sorry for the reflection. That gap is for my mood board, which I haven't completed yet, but I will be doing that this evening, and I will stick that in. But yeah, this is just a flip through of the planner. I really hope that you love this as much as I do, and I'd love to know what theme your 2025 planner is on. And if you like this video, I'd love if you could give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see future videos, I would really, really love if you could subscribe. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.